August 2022, Ridgewood Village, a place known for its peace and quiet, where everyone knew their neighbors and life moved at a slow, steady pace. But behind the doors of one home, a dark and twisted secret had been brewing for months. A secret that would tear apart not just a family, but an entire community. In the small village of Ridgewood, a forbidden love blossomed between Ethan Miller and his father-in-law, David Harper. What started as a hidden affair spiraled into a tale of obsession, jealousy, and betrayal. As their secret relationship deepened, so did the risks. Fearful of their affair being exposed, Ethan grew desperate to end it, but David had other plans. This deadly game of passion reached its terrifying conclusion in August 2022, when a violent confrontation left one man dead and a town shaken to its core. Today, we unravel the chilling story of how a secret affair in Ridgewood led to a brutal murder, leaving a family shattered and a village stunned. How far would someone go to keep their darkest secret buried forever? It all started innocently enough. David Thompson, a man in his mid-50s, had always been the respected patriarch of the Thompson family. Ethan Miller, his son-in-law, was welcomed into the family when he married David's daughter, Emily, just 2 years earlier. On the surface, everything seemed perfect: family gatherings, shared vacations, and mutual respect between David and Ethan. But beneath the facade of normalcy, something far more dangerous was brewing. In early 2022, during a particularly stressful time for both men, David and Ethan found themselves growing closer than ever. Late-night conversations over whiskey, quiet moments of understanding, and a shared sense of being misunderstood by the world around them forged an unexpected bond. What started as casual talks to blow off steam quickly escalated into something much more intimate, something neither of them had ever anticipated. Before long, their friendship blurred into a full-blown romantic affair, one they were desperate to keep hidden from everyone, especially from Emily. Their secret encounters became more frequent, each meeting risking exposure, but the thrill of secrecy seemed to draw them closer. For David, it was a forbidden escape from the responsibilities of family life. For Ethan, it was a confusing whirlwind of emotions, as he wrestled with his guilt and attraction. The affair, however, wasn't just about passion. It was also about power. David, being older and more experienced, held an unspoken dominance over Ethan, who found himself both enthralled and trapped by the relationship. As their secret romance deepened, so did the stakes. The consequences of their actions, if discovered, could destroy the family they both claimed to love. Yet, neither of them was willing to stop. Instead, they were drawn further into the web of deception that would eventually lead to deadly consequences. By June 2022, the once thrilling affair between David and Ethan began to spiral out of control. What was once an exhilarating secret had become a source of constant anxiety for Ethan. The weight of guilt and the fear of being exposed started to consume him. Every glance from a family member, every innocent question from his wife, Emily, felt like a threat. Ethan's paranoia grew, and he became desperate to end the affair before the truth destroyed everything. But for David, things were different. He had no intention of letting go. The affair had given him a sense of power and control, something he wasn't ready to relinquish. David's possessiveness became suffocating, and the once passionate relationship began to transform into something darker. He insisted that they could continue in secret, dismissing Ethan's fears and tightening his grip on the younger man. Every time Ethan tried to distance himself, David would pull him back in with emotional manipulation and veiled threats, making it clear that leaving wasn't an option. The tension between them escalated behind closed doors. Their heated arguments became more frequent and intense, often turning into shouting matches. Ethan, once enamored by the excitement of their forbidden love, now felt trapped. The secrecy that had once bonded them was now tearing them apart. Family members started to notice the strain. Ethan became withdrawn, distracted, and jittery during family gatherings, while David's demeanor shifted from his usual calm to something more volatile. Emily, in particular, sensed that something was wrong. He questioned Ethan's sudden mood swings and late nights away from home, but he always had an excuse: a work project, meeting a friend, or needing space. No one could have imagined the depth of the secret these two men were hiding, but the cracks in their facade were starting to show. As the pressure mounted, the relationship continued to deteriorate. What started as an illicit romance had now morphed into a ticking time bomb, and it was only a matter of time before everything exploded in the most tragic way possible. By August 2022, Ethan had reached his limit. The weight of his secret life and the overwhelming guilt were unbearable. He couldn't continue the affair with David, nor could he face the constant fear of being exposed. Ethan made the decision to end it once and for all, telling David that he wanted out. He hoped that by walking away, he could reclaim his life, his marriage, and his sanity. But David had no intention of letting him go so easily. David, consumed by obsession and fear of losing everything, refused to accept Ethan's decision. For him, the affair had become more than just a hidden relationship, it was his entire world. The thought of Ethan leaving, and possibly exposing their secret, sent David into a downward spiral. The possessiveness that had once been masked by affection now turned into dangerous desperation. Their final confrontation was inevitable. In the secluded guesthouse where their affair had once flourished, tensions reached a boiling point. What began as a heated argument over the affair's end quickly escalated into violence. David, fueled by rage, paranoia, and a twisted sense of betrayal, lashed out. In a fit of uncontrollable fury, he committed the unthinkable, ending Ethan's life in a brutal act of murder. The aftermath was devastating. Ethan's lifeless body was discovered the next morning, and the small town was thrown into shock. No one could fathom how such a tragedy could unfold within their tight-knit community. As the investigation began, the family was left reeling, searching for answers that seemed impossible to grasp. Rumors swirled, but the truth behind Ethan's death remained buried, just as David had intended. However, secrets have a way of coming to light, and it wouldn't be long before the chilling details of their relationship were revealed, exposing the dark underbelly of a deadly affair. As investigators in the quiet town of Ridgewood dug deeper into Ethan's murder, they began to piece together a shocking and unimaginable truth. What initially seemed like a tragic domestic crime unraveled into a scandal that left the town reeling. The affair between David and Ethan, father-in-law and son-in-law, sent shockwaves through the tight-knit community. This secret romance had been carefully concealed, but now, in the wake of Ethan's death, everything was coming to light. For Ethan's wife, Sarah, who had lived her whole life in Ridgewood, the revelation was a nightmare. She had not only lost her husband, but discovered that he had been in a relationship with her own father. The betrayal was overwhelming, and the grief was compounded by the public scandal that quickly swept through the village. The trust she had in the two most important men in her life was shattered. As the family and the community of Ridgewood grappled with the truth, the revelation of the secret affair and the violent murder left a deep scar on all their lives. Friends, neighbors, and even extended family struggled to comprehend how such a forbidden love had turned so deadly. The small town would never be the same again, with whispers of betrayal, lies, and murder forever etched into its history. The tragic events that unfolded in Ridgewood serve as a chilling reminder of how devastating secrets can become when buried too deep. What began as a forbidden love affair spiraled into jealousy, manipulation, and ultimately murder. The lies they lived not only destroyed their family, but also tore apart the fabric of this once peaceful town. The web of deceit shattered trust, leaving a community grappling with the weight of betrayal. It is a story that asks, how far would someone go to protect a secret? And in the end, was it worth the devastating consequences? Some secrets, like those harbored in Ridgewood, can destroy everything in their path. Let us know your thoughts. Could this tragedy have been prevented? Comment below, like, and subscribe for more shocking true crime stories.